All right, guys, in our last video, we talked about why a central hub is critical for us as leaders. And then if you want to get people on the same page, sometimes the best way to do that is just to start by making a page. So that's what we're going to do in this video. I'm going to show you how to make a central hub and to get started in having some examples or having something that looks like some of the examples that I showed you in our last video. So if you haven't seen that, go to culturebus.cc, go to productivity page, and you can sign up to learn more. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about this. The first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to your Drive account. I believe day 12 of the productivity challenge talks a little bit about Drive. Day 12 and 13 will talk to you a little bit about this. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to create a folder because you're going to want to keep all of your resources in that folder because you're going to manage that. So let's go ahead and do an example. I'm going to create a folder. I'm going to call this __1 because I want it to come up to the very top of my page. You can see already here I've got _0 capture _Rachel. These are just a way to organize folders in Drive. But I'm just going to do this _1 and I'm going to call it COVID-19 Hub because why not? Let's make one just so that you could see what this would look like. So I'm going to hit create. And now what you're going to see is in that COVID-19 hub, it's right here. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I want to go share these files or this folder in anything so it will inherit the permissions of sharing. So we'll go to the share icon. We're going to go to advanced and we're going to make sure that anyone can view this. Anyone, if anybody got the link to this, let's just go do this. We'll click copy. I'm going to hit done. So I'm going to hit an incognito browser. An incognito browser is a way to just quickly, you're not logged into Chrome on an incognito browser. So you would be able to see anybody in the outside world would be able to have this folder if they had access to it. Now you're not going to share this link with people. What you're doing is just creating a very simple way to create an inherited page permission. Okay. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take a Google Doc, we're going to create and share, and we're going to create our page, our main page, our hub that everybody is going to go look at, similar to the ones that you saw in the last video. So what I like to do is we're just going to call this COVID-19 hub. To make a title, and then I am going to add some information. Now, what I normally like to do is hit insert. I like to do a table. I like to do a little bit of information. So like, for instance, with this one right here, this was the COVID-19 hub that I talked about in the last video, but you can kind of see on this that it just gives you a little bit of information on what this hub is actually doing for us. Like, you got to help people kind of see a little bit. So I might take that there and paste, some content in there. I might also, let's just take this and do something like that. I don't know. I might just do COVID-19. Let's take this whole thing actually. And we'll do that. We'll move this table over so it's kind of organized. We'll call this the COVID-19 hub. Move this over a little bit. And so there you go. I'll take this link out. Whoops, I did a little bit too many deleting here. I'm just going to go ahead and delete that link. And so now we've got this really clean box. And what I'll do underneath here is I'll insert a horizontal line. That'll make it clean. And then what I'll do is I'll hover over that box and I'll make sure that you can't see that line. So it's kind of clean. It just kind of, sets the tone for that area. So the next thing that I'm going to do that is similar to the Campus Pastor Hub that you saw in the last thing is if I know I'm going to have a lot of resources that I'm going to share, I might go ahead and create some bookmarks. So similar to this hub, for instance, we actually have some, you can see if you hover over the boxes, these are lines. So I could literally come over here and hit this line and you'll see they're tables just like I had made a second ago. So let's make a 3-table tier, very similar to the one that we did with the Campus Pastor Hub. I'm going to go to insert. I'm going to go to 3 tables and I'll just go here and hit tab and tab. So what this is going to do is this is going to be able to take you down the page to see content that might be relevant for your people to see. So if we had communication, okay, let's say maybe that was one. If I can spell, let's take that out. Communication. Come on, Chris. Also, if you're not using Grammarly, sign up for Grammarly today. That's my plugin. Communication. Let's do training. Let's do video teaching. I don't know. I'm just thinking of some of the things that we have on our COVID-19. So these would be kind of like header one ideas. And we'll just go ahead and normally what I like to do is I'll just delete this section. I'll delete this last row. Actually, let me just delete all 3 rows because those are the only rows that I need right now. And then what I'll do is I'll come down here below and I will make an insert. I'll do a table and I'll do a 2 column. So this will be for my header. So we'll do this for communication. And then this would be like link 1, link 2, link 3, and so forth. So that is how I get started. And then I might take another box. I'll put paste. I'll call this training. I'll come over here. I'll do another box. And then I'll call this video teaching. Okay. So if you sometimes when you're making a hub, you don't always know exactly what it is that you're going to need in a hub. But I find that you can always go make another document and organize some of this stuff and then paste it in here if you need to. So let's go ahead and let's make the lines disappear here. I'll probably make this, and let's go disappear these lines as well. And well, I won't disappear the lines until we put some resources in there. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is now that you've got these communication headers and training headers, now we're going to go make folders in our drive. Now I know this seems like a lot of work, but when you have this completed, it is going to expedite the time it takes for people to try to find the things that they need. You will empower people like never before. So let's do a communication folder. I'll hit create there, and then I would create another folder for training, right? And then I would do that. And then let's go double click into communication. And this is where I'm going to save my documents. So if somebody emails you a Google Drive document, you need to make sure that it's shareable to the world, and then you can just save it into your folder. So let's just do an example. Let's say we've got a communication best practice. We want to create a Google document for that. We're going to call this, we'll do this how to care for people. I'm just making some stuff up here, how to care for people, but that would probably be a good resource to have. So you got all your words, you got all your stuff, you write everything out, you put it in your brand as a church. And then you're going to go to share, and you'll notice that because it inherited the permissions of that folder, you won't have to do this every time. So I'm going to copy the link, and then I'm going to go to my COVID-19 hub, and I'm going to do how to care for people, right? And I'm going to hover over this. I'm going to hit Command K if you're using a Mac. I'll hit Command V to paste it. Or if you need to do it and you don't have a Mac or you don't know the commands, you can just hover over this and click on this little insert link, and then you could insert a link again, kind of like you did. So there is my link for how to care for my people. You're going to have your link 2, your link 3. And then what you'll end up doing is once you have that kind of filled out, you'll want to take out the lines, make it real clean. I'll do that for these 3 boxes. So let's go ahead and do that. And then let's go ahead and bold this font. Let's make this a bold, let's make this a bold font. Let's go over to training. Let's make that a bold font. Let's make video teaching a bold font. And then what we'll do here is in communication, because if you started to have a lot of these, if you had a long list, kind of like what we do with the Campus Pastor Hub. So I'll open that back up. So what we're doing is we're going to create a bookmark now. So, I mean, we've got tons of stuff in here. So like worship service and planning, if we click on that bookmark, it's taking us all the way down the page, and you can see hosting guidelines, all the things that they're wanting to communicate with people. But what we're going to do here is we're going to still do the bookmark. So we'll go to communication. We'll insert a bookmark here, and then we'll hover over communication, kind of like how we did the Command K, we did this link again. And when you do that, instead of having headings like instead of doing the bookmarks that go I'm sorry, URLs, you can now do bookmarks. So we'll click on communication. And if we were to click on this, it'll take us right to that page. Now, if we had something on the next page, let's just pretend that we'll do a page break and say that goes down here. So what will end up happening if you click a bookmark here, and then you were to go to video teaching, and we were to go to this hyperlink, we clicked on bookmarks and we click video teaching and apply, then what's going to happen is just going to take us down to that spot of the video, okay, of the section of training. Now, the last thing that you want to do, and this will clean it all up, is you're going to do a bookmark for the top. I find this to be really helpful. So bookmark the top of COVID-19, and then in the bottom of your page, just kind of double click on the bottom of your footer, and we'll do back to the top. Okay, that's one thing. Actually, let's not do that. Let's do a insert. We'll do a double table. We'll put the hub link. So we're going to take the link of the hub that we're currently looking at, and we'll put, COVID-19 hub. Okay, and then we'll hover over that. We'll paste that link in there. Because what will happen is if you make other documents, you always want to reference back to the main hub. That's really helpful. And then what we would do it here is we would do back to the top. Okay. And I'll make that I'll put it to the right. I'll hover over this. I'll hit that Command K again. I'll find my bookmarks and I'll find the hub to apply it. So now I will hover over this. I will do a highlighted area. So now it looks really clean at the bottom. So if I go to page 2, like, man, I just need to go back to the top of the page. You just double click on that and hit the bookmark and it takes you back up. Okay. So that's how you create a hub. That's some of the basics to it. So go to town. If you got questions, let me know. I'd love to hear how you're enjoying these videos, but hopefully this encourages you to be able to equip your team to get on the same page. I'll see you guys video.